Hey baby girls, today I'm gonna do a tattoo tour. So a lot of you have been asking me the meaning behind each one of them and they want to do some sort of tour. So I'm going to do it today and show you from start to finish all my tattoos. And this video is dedicated especially for those that absolutely hate my tattoos and get distracted every time I perform a treatment.
Boom, roasted.
Okay, so my first ever tattoo was my granddad, which is a portrait of him when he was in the Second World War. It was in the Scotch Regiment, and I always said one day I was going to have this tattooed. So I did loads of research and I found someone who was like the top portrait artist in England, and I travelled a bit of distance to go and have my tattoo done with him. And I got to the shop and I was a bit nervous and I was a bit scared and a bit sick and I didn't know what to expect. And I went into the shop and it was a shop full of men and they were all tattooing, and I kind of stood there like crickets. And I was stood there like, okay, no one's talking to me. And then after about 10 minutes, someone came up to me and was like, you okay? And I was like, oh, I'm waiting for blah, blah. And he was like, oh yeah, he's not here, he's running late or something like that. And I was like, okay, no worries. So I sat down. And then about 45 minutes later, he rocked up and he walked straight into the shop, kind of didn't really acknowledge me that much, and then acknowledged me and was like, oh, I'm just going for a ciggy. And I was like, okay, this is a bad experience so far, which is really sad really that we have to deal with that, because that really isn't acceptable. If I did that in my job, they'd literally walk out and be like, I'm not having you do my treatments, wouldn't they? That's so true, and same with you.
Well, the thing is, lots of tattoo artists are very arrogant.
Anyway, as I was like looking down at like the tattoo being like literally like permanently stained on my arm, I was like, what is this blob? Because when you first start it looks like nothing, like it looks like a stick man, like it had no features, it had no shading, it looked awful, and I was thinking, oh my God, this is horrific. But I trust the process and I waited to the end and I loved it. I was obsessed. He did an incredible job and it looks absolutely identical to the photograph I took in. So yes, incredible talent, but just his personality and his people skills was zero. And yeah, that was my experience for my first tattoo. So I can't actually remember exactly which order I went in, but it went along the lines of this. So I had my eagle done, which is an American eagle, which goes with like the theme of what I wanted to go for. And I literally love this. Like Becky was really good at placing it, so it like complemented like my arm. And honestly, I loved it. So that was one of my first, and actually didn't hurt apart from this bit up here. This bit was a little bit tender up here. But everything else, absolutely amazing. So one of my next ones was actually my panther, which hasn't got anything to do with my granddad, but it has loads to do with my dad. So my dad had a couple of little tattoos when he was younger, and one that he had was on his arm, which was a panther, which I think back then it was obviously like the trad panther that everyone used to have. But it's a really funny story because it was done so bad, it looked like a turkey. Didn't it look like a turkey? Did you ever remember when he had it?
He's had it lasered off since, I've never seen it.
Oh, it looked like a turkey, and I always thought as a little girl he had a turkey on his arm, and it was only when I got older he was like, no, it's a panther, and I was like,
oh my God, you should have got a turkey tattooed on your arm.
That would have
been so much funnier.
Anyway, I loved it. I actually loved it, even though he hated it and he actually had it lasered off, which made me want to cry because obviously I've grown up knowing my dad with that on his arm, but he hated it. So he had it lasered off, and I just thought it was funny that I always loved it. So I was going to get a proper panther and I was going to put my little spin on it. And I kept seeing like on Instagram, like these little love heart style animals, and I was absolutely obsessed, and I was like, that will work amazing with my panther. So that was my next one, and if I'm honest, I think that might be my favourite tattoo on my body. So my next one is my little Playboy bunny. So this isn't a very Americana style, is it? But I think I've mentioned in a previous one of my videos, I literally grew up watching the girls of the Playboy Mansion, fully obsessed, literally wanted to be them. And yeah, it just reminds me of my childhood. I always like wanted to have like every outfit in Playboy. Can you remember when it came out in the 90s? Or no, it wasn't 90s. Must have been 2000s. Yeah, when it came out in the 2000s and everyone was wearing like Playboy tracksuits and Playboy hoodies, I was like, oh my God, I wanted it all. And I don't know, it's just really nostalgic. And I saw one with a flame inside it. So yeah, doesn't really go with the theme, but oh well, just added a little one in there for me. I'm going to talk about this one, which is a mouth organ, which is, some would call it a harmonica. What do you call it? Harmonica or a mouth organ?
Harmonica.
My granddad used to play this all the time. He was insane on it. Like, the noise literally sends me back to listening to him playing this. So yeah, I wanted a harmonica on my arm, and I had obviously his name, which was Ernest. So one of my next tattoos I really love is my umbrella, and I obviously had the name Huyana Beauty for my business, which stuck out to me on a sheet of paper when I was trying to find my beauty name. I didn't want to be called Jamie's Beauty because I was mobile at the time and I was worried people would think like I was a boy and I was turning up to wax their vaginas. So I wanted obviously a different name, and every name you can think of has obviously been taken. So it was actually Corey, wasn't it, that he was like, why don't you look at Native American names? So I started scrolling and there was one word that stuck out and it was Huyana, and I was like, I love how that looks. I love when I say that, how it sounds. I was like, oh my God, I love that. And then when I looked at the meaning, it stood for falling rain, and I was like, that's meant to be. So for anyone who doesn't know me, I absolutely adore the rain. So when it's raining a blizzard outside, I love it. It makes me feel content and happy. Corey hates the rain. It literally sends him miserable. But for me, I think it gives me like an energy. Like I always want to go walk in it. I want to put my wellies on and put my coat on and go for a walk in the rain. And we fall to sleep every single night with the sound of rain on our phones, don't we? So I was like, that was it. That was meant to be. So that's where the name Huyana came from, and I just wanted a little tattoo to represent that. So I went for an umbrella with some raindrops, and underneath it says Huyana Beauty. No, it doesn't.
It says falling rain.
It says falling rain.
This woman doesn't even know her own tattoos. Huyana Beauty, spelled with an F.
I don't know why I said that. I know it says falling rain. So talking about Huyana Beauty, this one is for you guys, and I had baby girl tattooed onto me. So it's obviously something I always say. I always said it before YouTube. I say it as my intro to most of my videos, and I actually love this. This is one of my favourites as well, Core. I love that I went for it in red. It just stands out. I love the font we chose, like that typewriting kind of font. I just think it looks really cool. So that actually is one of my favourites as well.
So I think you should talk about Bailey.
Oh, Bailey. So this one is my Bailey. And Bailey was our family dog for, was she 13 when she died?
Yeah.
And she was the most beautiful Rhodesian Ridgeback with the most weird autistic behaviour you will ever know. She had such set ways, but she was the most beautifully soul, wasn't she, Cor? Oh, just so loving and caring.
Oh, I actually really like it there. Yeah, love it. Let's go. Yeah, let's do it.
And she passed about a year ago now, and I just wanted a little tattoo to, I know we have tattoos to remember people, ridiculous because we remembered them, but I don't know, I just wanted one to fill that little space there, and I thought, what better timing than to have it now she'd passed. So yeah, that's a little tribute to my Bailey. And funnily enough, I obviously didn't want it to look exactly like Bailey. Well, I did, but I didn't, because I wanted like a cartoony version of it. So I obviously didn't want a portrait style. But when she did it, I was like, oh my God, like her eyes and things like that, and like even like a mouth looks so similar to how Bailey was. So yeah, it's just really cute and beautiful, and I love that. So that's Bailey. number 3 is my lucky number. I feel like the number 3, like, how do I explain this? Like every house I move to, it's got the number 3 in. Like my registration plates on almost every car I've had has had a number 3 in. I'm like,
yeah, but why is it lucky though?
It just is.
Your lucky number's ever won on the lottery.
So I don't know why I like it. I just like it, and it's always been in everything that's ever been related to me. Whether it was an address, whether it was a phone number.
Am I your third boyfriend?
No, but
Am I your first boyfriend?
yes.
Well, then number 1 is your lucky number, innit? Really?
Okay, I spoke about this in one of my last videos that I did, but is it there?
Yeah.
Is it there? I can't see it. Is
No.
that it? Oh, I can't see it. Oh, there. Okay. So this tattoo is for Corey. So Corey is obsessed with aliens. For anyone who knows Corey, you will know he is totally obsessed with aliens. He wants to be abducted. I think he thinks he's been abducted. And you do, don't you? He always says he's been abducted.
I didn't say I want to be abducted.
Yeah, he does. He wants to be abducted.
What? You're just making things up.
You really always want to go alien hunting. Like, he always asks me to go alien hunting.
UFO hunting, not alien hunting.
UFO hunting, and it's just Corey's thing, which actually he has, it's kind of become my thing as well, because I'm really fascinated, because he watches every programme of every TV series, of every movie related to aliens. You're just fully obsessed. And he used to have this little, like, logo-y alien sign, which was like, you wanted to, I think you bought it to attach to your t-shirts, but he used to have it stuck to his computer, and it says, I have to go. And it just reminds me of you, because she just had it. It was in every house you lived in. When I used to like date you, you used to have it. So those words remind me of Corey. So I had a little alien balloon, and I just thought it was really cute, saying like, I have to go, like a little balloon, like flying off in the air. I just thought it was cute. But Corey doesn't have anything for me, so let's not talk about that. Next tattoo is, talking about tattoos for people. So this L is for, I mean, talking about tattoos for people, my whole entire arm is for people. But this little L here is my bestie, who is my absolute OG. I have been best friends with her since we was like reception, and I had a tattoo for her because she had a little one for me saying J with a love heart, and I went bigger with an L, and I went for a barbed wire because she's been through so much, and I just feel like the barbed wire actually represented her, because it's like a strong, independent, incredible woman that she is. She lost her brother, didn't she, 2 years ago now, and yeah, that's really sad. I don't want to talk about it because I actually will cry. And she's been through so much, so I wanted to get that for her as well. So thank you so much for watching this tattoo tour. I hope it wasn't too boring. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.